Sasquatch, Yahoo, Phantom of the Forest, you Spearfinger, Fire Dragon, Ohio Grassman, Silver Giant, Bloodless Howler, West Virginia Vampire, Coyote King, Hogzilla, Devil Dog, Coyote Killer. Cave creature, Mothman, Smoke Wolf, Lizard Demon, Ashman, Grafton Monster, Cow-killing Bastard, Shadow Creature, Dustman, Cherokee, Death Cat, Wild Man, Great Fire Rape. What else do I have to say? Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the Bigfeets. Snallygaster, Rogue Team, Red Island Bear Beast, Silver Giant, Squalling Savage, Black Wolf was kind of average, Stone Giant, Raven Mocker, Midnight Whistler, Wampus Beast, Wawa Woman, Ohio Grassman again. Technically Huckleberry, Wolfman, or Wolf County need to find the X again if we hunt the Lightning Man. Webster's Werewolf, Daily Howl, Kentucky Hellhound, Little Girl, Headless Horror, I can't take it anymore. Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the Bigfeet.
This here's BIGFEETS, the only Mountain Monsters podcast slowly pivoting to ship fanfiction. I'm Robert Brockway, and I've actually been standing Huckzilla.
I'm Sean Baby, enduring internet personality, and in 1975 I set the record for shortest knockout time average for fight career at 1.2 seconds.
And I am award-winning author and essayist Jason Pargent.
1.2 seconds.
That means if I stop to shake a fighter's hand, the next guy I have to kill 10 minutes before the fight starts, just to average it out.
I gotta stop falling for this, otherwise the first 5 minutes of this are gonna be Duke's Cast. Oh no, we should do a Duke's Cast. Oh no, we've already done that.
No.
All right. All right, before we get started, Jason, what do you want to plug today?
The new book is up for pre-order now. It is called I'm Starting to Worry About This Black Box of Doom. There are reviews up for it already on Goodreads from early readers. You can go look at that if you don't believe anything that we say about it, because of course we are going to say good things about it. I directly profit from people buying it. Why would I be honest about the quality of the book?
That's a good point.
But it's available in every format, including audio. I know most podcast listeners, that's the version they go out and buy. Yes, it's up for pre-order. Just type that title into wherever it's available from Audible. That's on Amazon. But you can get it anywhere, wherever you like to buy books.
Sweet. Sean.
I'm going to plug the Dog Zone 9000 and our other podcast where we do mess-arounds and zanery, I think is the word. If you're listening to this now, what's going to be the podcast episode that'll be going up? Could be and it could be anything from Herculoids.
That's right, it's going to be Herculoids.
I really hope it's Herculoids.
I think it might be Herculoids.
Let's do Herculoids. It's probably Herculoids. So go there, listen to that podcast for all your Herculoids needs.
What if there is a Herculoids podcast? I would listen to that. Let me know if you run a Herculoids podcast and we have just called you out. I'm going to plug 1-900-HOT-DOG. Come support us, patreon.com/1900-HOT-DOG. That pays for everything, because we pay a lot of money to run this show and get nothing in return except for joy and adoration. But that's worthless. That's absolutely worthless. So come support us instead. It pays for this podcast, The Dog Zone. It pays for fantastic new articles every weekday by the last human comedians still standing and working, and they're all brilliant. And come support us. Yeah, come check it out. Oh, and we've got, I think by this point we'll have a store. Go to 1900hotdog.com and click store for the store.
Fantastic.
I mean this in the best possible way, but listeners, you know how there are some people who are very successful in entertainment because they're very good at making entertainment, and there are other people that are successful purely because they're good self-promoters.
We're obviously the second.
Yeah.
Our
so
communication
hard.
skills completely break down when it's time to plug something.
It's so hard. Just do the thing and let me do whatever. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to talk about this. What we're doing today is this is a Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. Mountain Monsters is hillbilly reality ghost hunting show, but it's Bigfoot. They find Bigfoot every time. We are increasingly showing them find Bigfoot, which is always just a cameraman or a production assistant in a gorilla costume, and we're gonna beat the fucking shit out of that guy. Wait, no, the opposite. He's gonna school us every single time. It's a wonderful exercise in inventive improv failure. Our cast is Trapper, he's the leader. Huckleberry is Bigfoot security. Buck is the rookie, the collar, the husky ninja. Jeff is our hillbilly research scientist. Willie is the actual trapper. And Wild Bill is, God bless him, he's the heart and soul of the team. He's there to get hurt so we can all rally around him.
Listeners, if you did not remember all of those job titles and you didn't have a chance to write them down, it's fine, because this team forgot about those job titles 5 seconds after they came up with them before episode 1. They will
often steal each other's jobs. Like maybe they don't know. Like maybe they forgot.
It's going to happen right here in the truck briefing.
It's going to happen real quick. We're watching Mountain Monsters Season 2, Episode 6, Bigfoot of Washington County. And as Jason said, we're in Trapper's truck briefing, which we start every episode with the main 4, Trapper, Jeff, Huckleberry, and Buck crammed into Trapper's truck doing a little pre-mission briefing. And this time we're going after the Dust Man. So finally we're going to hunt Wild Bill. No, I'm sorry. Dusk Man. It's a Bigfoot, of course, 7 to 8 feet tall, 500 pounds, shack and a half, as we like to say.
Yeah,
and
shack and a half.
As you can tell, you wrote down shack and a half, didn't you?
Of course I wrote down shack and a half. Then I had 1.5 Hulk Hogan's, and then I crossed that out.
No, it's shack and a half.
Yeah.
As you can tell by those very svelte shack and a half stats, this one's known for his agility. So we're hunting. This is going to be a speedy, acrobatic Bigfoot. So expect the whole team to go after him in an intense parkour foot chase.
Now we are going to get into 2 of the dumbest things that have ever been said in the history of television as a medium. One, already Robert has made a mistake here. The creature they are hunting is called the Dust Man with a T. The closed captioning on the HBO Max version refers to the creature as the Dusk Man with a K. Because when Trapper explains how this thing got its name, he is going to confuse everyone, including the captioners of the show. And it is so weird that first of all, this is a creature they made up, right? Like if you search Duskman or Dustman, either one, Dustman is a British slang for a garbage person. I do not find any reference to a creature named either of those things outside of Mountain Monsters. Did either of you find?
No, it's just a garbage man, which rules, which I love. This is the garbage foot from now on.
I thought maybe the closed caption guy was insecure because, as Trapper explains, he got his name from the Shawnee because he came out at sunset. So they called him Dusk Man. You got to get in before dusk or the Dusk Man will get you. But the kids, they fucked it up and they're all stupid. So they called him Dust Man. And I guess you can't correct kids, so the name stuck. It's how, you guys know, this is how we got the name Frankenstein's Monster. That's why they call him that.
But why Trapper made all of that up on the spot? Why? Because for the
There's
rest
no reason
of this
for
episode, you're going to have them saying things like, well, now we're going to come out right at dusk when the Dust Man comes out. And the captioning is going to, it's like they're having a stroke because we're going to get into it. But the other thing that's happening here is that right away, Trapper starts saying, well, the Shawnee ran into the Dust Man and they said he could run down a deer, break out his neck. And it's like, you see Jeff in the background like,
what the fuck is happening?
This is because again, the Indian stuff and the Shawnee stuff, that's Jeff's thing. That's
Jeff's thing.
Distinctly Jeff's thing. And he just comes right out the box and starts saying this. And then from the back seat, and I could not believe this happened, Buck says, Well, how did he get his name, Trapper? Jeff is the researcher. That's the only thing he's there to do. And they just cut him out.
I'm telling you, after last episode, when he just started going on about fucking zoning laws, they're like, no, this is what you sound like, you stupid asshole. Like, this is just throwing fucking shade.
Hold on. I did some hillbilly math about this because he says the dust man could run down a deer and break its neck in one movement. And a deer goes about 30 or 40 miles an hour, probably closer to 40 with a shack and a half on its tail. So it's, and this thing is 8 feet tall, 500 pounds. So he's not going to be able to maneuver. So that's a freight train. So he'd have to run down a deer before the deer thought to change directions. So that's my calculations. That's what, 1,000,000 miles an hour? We'll say 900,000 to be safe. And he makes the best ceviche. He's learning saxophone. The Shawnees say he collects celebrity autographs. I guess Trapper knows a lot about this thing, and Jeff is completely left out of the picture, I guess is the point I'm trying to make.
I loved that they said, okay, he says, this can hunt down, chase down a deer, and break its neck in one movement.
I can't even picture that.
What does that look like? What is that? Is that a Hurricane Rana?
That's a running bulldog. That's a hacksaw Jim Duggan move.
It is definitely some sort of front flip and then leg spin.
I mean,
sure.
To be fair,
Rama.
Now, I will say this right now. We have complained in other episodes that they've not built up the creatures as being dangerous enough. And in the last one, they hit an all-time low point with its addiction to Golden Delicious brand apples. And how their entire mission was to prevent it from eating all the apples. And the way they did that was by stripping all the apples off the tree so it would have none to eat, thus exacerbating the problem. But here, when they say this thing can take down a deer going full speed, catch it and break its neck in one movement, when I close my eyes and try to picture this 500-pound creature doing that, that's the most terrifying thing I can imagine seeing happen in the woods. It would just be a blur, and then you hear the snap of a neck.
I can't picture anything that's not from the top rope. Like,
yeah, I feel like
it's a top rope move for sure.
Yeah, it involves a jump at the end there.
You know what it is? It could be the full-on Macho Man elbow from space, like just flying.
Hell yeah!
Flying fringe flapping super elbow.
He's watching the deer run. He tests the wind. He just shoots into the sky, and then like 40 seconds later, like half a mile away,
sunglasses on.
It's just a meteor comes down from the sky. Sunglasses on.
Macho Man Dragoon drops him. Oh, shit.
So now that they have totally cut Jeff out of the conversation, now that they have stolen his Shawnee Indian legend stuff, now that they have come up with a backstory as to why the Dust Man is called the Dust Man, because he comes out at dusk, and the kids called him the Dusk Man, but then they mispronounced it because they mispronounced words, and so now he's the Dust Man, and that's what they all have to call him for the rest of the episode. The camera cuts to Jeff like, so what do you have to say, Jeff, researcher? And Jeff, what has to be the lowest point in Jeff's life up to now, says, well, we're in Washington County. You know, Washington County was named after our first president, George Washington.
They loved him around here.
They cut to a picture of George Washington, and somebody says, yeah, they really love him around here.
No, it's Jeff. Jeff says, this was named after George Washington. He was well loved in this country, like a 4th grade book report. Just fucking, you think, Jeff? You think he might have been? God damn it. It's the worst Jeff's ever done. And there's no segue to it. They're talking very naturally, and then they cut to Jeff, long silence, and Jeff just goes, Washington County was named, like, spitefully. Just like, well, here's what I have left. Here's what I got.
We went from the 50-mile-an-hour elbow drops to like Washington to an explanation of who George Washington is.
Now, to be fair,
Jeff.
he does go on to tell them about the Whiskey Rebellion. But again, unless this is an alcoholic Bigfoot, which happened. God love this show. It did happen. Unless it's another alcoholic Bigfoot, this is still fucking useless, Jeff. This is nothing. He has actually nothing to say about the Bigfoot this time because they took it all from him.
To Jeff's credit, he did have to click a link on the Washington County Wikipedia page to learn all this about the Whiskey Rebellion. I checked it out. The Whiskey Rebellion stuff is not on the main Wikipedia. So this is 2 Wikipedia pages Jeff had to look up. Not too
Always
bad.
learning about holes. Learn about Wikipedia holes.
The thing is that I love about the meta narrative here is that Jeff, the real person, the person who plays the character Jeff in the show, could have been spiteful about this. And it's like, oh, so you totally stole my entire Shawnee Indian stuff. And then he could have just started throwing in whatever improv that just totally ruins whatever they were going to do. They're like, well, they say he can fly.
He used to do that, and yeah, I think he got slapped down too many times because he used to be like, "Oh, this big lizard fucking ruined somebody's car." And I'm like, nope, he didn't.
He has small,
real
crude,
quick,
usable hands. That pig does not have hands.
No, he doesn't. He fucking doesn't. No, I'm telling you what. You just tell us about the county.
Well,
Jeff. That's what you do.
That's my point. He's so cowed at it. Like, he knows they're not afraid to just slap down. They do not feel the need to yes and any improv. So he can't say anything other than some incontrovertible thing. And I would just love if somebody else in the truck would have been like, well, no, actually, I think the county was named after George Washington Carver.
Actually, people around here fucking hate George Washington, Jeff. I talked to him.
I think you're wrong about even that, Jeff.
What are you gonna say about it? So we're talking about the Duskman. We do get barely. I'm gonna say barely our thick cryptid thigh check because I think they're reusing the central Bigfoot model here and just changing out textures because he's exactly the same as the last one, but like a little bit grayer. Still got luscious thighs and anime eyes, which is what they say about big feet, I guess. I don't know why we're doing that now. But that's luscious what he looks like if you picture him.
Anime eyes. No, Trevor's still going on about his dumbass clans theory. Like, he doesn't know if this Dustman clan is older than the Yahoo clan. Like, and nobody's biting. Like, he's kind of the Jeff of this episode, and then he's making up stuff about Indian lore, and now also just adding dumb shit that nobody cares about.
Well, Buck does something genius in that he's like, I think he senses that it's going down this, like, he's going to talk about the goddamn Bigfoot family tree again. Nobody's into it when Grandpa starts talking about the family tree. So what he does is he brings up something else that he knows Trapper's crazy for. So it's Buck that says, well, since these Bigfoot are using the waterways, maybe we need to stop checking on dry land. And Trapper's just like, fuck, yes, it's the water thing rivers. I was doing.
Yes! The unified river theory
thing
of Appalachia.
The water theory thing is growing to be canon. Big feet pull around on the rivers on little gondolas, like Appalachian Venice. Mm-hmm. And they I assume they sing. And Buck wants them
they're
to
actually
go.
Called Gondolwise because the children couldn't pronounce the word correctly, and the name stuck.
I don't think they are, Jeff. I don't think they fucking are.
God damn
So
it,
Buck,
you son of a bitch.
Buck, this is enough for Buck to want to go full water cop. He's like, maybe we need to stop driving around in the truck altogether and do a fucking Thunder in Paradise thing.
Hell yes.
I cannot agree with that more. Like, get him a fucking talking speedboat. Replace Jeff with a talking speedboat. I mean, right?
It's
right
the best
there.
show note I've ever heard. Yeah.
And then Huckleberry, in one of his attempts to get the killer line for the sizzle reel for the trailer, which he fully believes is his role in the show, but struggles based on what's been said in the truck so far, finally just says, we're going to knock the dust off the dust man.
He doesn't get it there, but he gets it later.
He gets it later.
He gets it later. You give him that.
I love him grabbing for something because, again, the one thing that we have not established is that this creature is particularly dusty. That's not why it's called that.
That we specifically established it's actually not that. It's the other thing about dusk. We're gonna knock the dusk off of shit.
God damn it. I like how Trapper says, this is one more step to prove that Bigfoot exists in the Appalachia. But I think we're past that. Several of them surrounded them and threw trees at them last night. They see one every time they get out of their vehicle at night. I feel like it's such a step backwards to say, like, we're going to set out to prove he exists. Like, they have his face on camera. We've seen it.
we've moved the goalposts ourselves. Not only are we past that, we are now on to Bigfoot is a system of clans.
Right.
And now we're looking for their origin point. We're looking for the source of the Bigfoot Nile. By the way, there's a Bigfoot Nile, and they all have speedboats on it. Like we're well past that. This is about something fucking crazy.
They recognized the Bigfoot they ran into before from his whistle in the last episode. They're like, "Oh, hey!" They're like seeing Bigfoots they know is the point. They're not proving it exists. They're running into old Bigfoot friends.
All right, so we meet the first witness, Chris. He's another deer hunter. It feels like they ran out of jobs. They knew, we did landowner. We went fucking crazy one time and did auctioneer. That was a fun one. But now everybody's just a deer hunter.
They had to do deer hunter for this guy, though, because of his fucking tree stand.
Because of his fucking tree stand. Chris is also wearing a camo hat. And at one point, we promised to check if these repeat. I think, Jason, you were going to track all headgear. This one's a repeat, right?
I have seen several hats that I swear, because again, my theory was that they have a trash bag full of hats and that they dole them out to the witnesses because that they always have like some sort of distinctive headgear. They have to have repeated by now, but I've not done like a spreadsheet, because in Excel you can do that. You can put in images so that you can line them all up. I have not been doing that. I was hoping a fan out there was doing it.
Okay, well, if you're a fan willing to take that on, I'm calling repeat on this one. I think it's a repeat.
Yeah.
But
unverified,
he does
but definite same style. I don't know if it's the exact same camo baseball hat, but yeah.
I feel like I've seen that one branch that goes from the top of the hat across the one side down the bill. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing that already. He makes up for it. He's got the camo hat, he's got a big billy goat beard, and he's got 2 hoop earrings in his right ear. So this is some DEI woke Bigfoot bullshit, first of all. Diversity in action. Chris is standing on a Parks Department lookout, which he says is his deer stand.
And it's not.
You rent this thing out for family reunions.
Yeah, or it's like a firewatch tower is what I thought it was. But,
yeah,
but it's not. It is not a deer stand in any way.
No, it's clearly been. It's comically been built by like a Parks Department.
Yeah, it has a sign on it that says "Kids don't play on this."
he put up the sign. It's paved on the way out there. It's ridiculous that they're trying to claim that they found a.
I loved it.
They found a cool park.
I was on board. I'm like, yep, this guy just built a giant 80-foot playground tree stand.
They even play it up like this is how much of a deer hunter he is, that he built this as his deer stand. Not like, because obviously the whole point of an actual deer stand is that it's concealment, that they can't see, where this is a giant, this is a $500,000 structure that the government built in the, yeah.
And most crucially, absolutely no attempt to conceal it. It's not even painted green. It's just...
It'd be funny if he just had like a machine gun nest. Like, he's an extreme hunter. This is his deer hunting machine gun nest. And he's just rattling rounds into the forest.
So Trapper he takes this time to do his I looked up one thing and I'm going to try to prove to you I'm a man bit. He starts citing yardages to all the various tree lines. I'd just like to, can we revisit fucking one time he told Buck they were 7,000 clicks away and he was off by over 4,000 miles.
Yeah, we did the math and he told them they were in Argentina from West Virginia.
Yeah, look over that hill. I'm in fucking Argentina, Buck, is what he said one time. Now he's going to cite yardages. No, it's horseshit.
Yeah, because he's like pointing around saying, well, those trees down there are 75 yards away. This is 150 yards. And it's like proving what a mountain man he is. But then Jeff, who is, I guess, trying to get back at him or
He's furious.
He says, well, you can see all them yardages, but I don't see why you keep missing your bleep and pissing yourself. And I can't figure out what they bleeped. I know I do this as a bit. What is he missing your bleep and pissing yourself? What did he say?
He's missing his cum.
He did say dick. He said dick.
Missing your cum and pissing on yourself. He's trying to ejaculate. He missed, and it came out as pee-pee. I think it's what Jeff is trying to say.
Missing your dick and pissing yourself? Is that what you think?
That's what he said. And I just think that's a hell of a throwdown line from Let Me Check, the only one to actually piss himself on camera.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we have that one.
It's not his strong. He comes in, he's like, this is just so weird to say, nice distances. you fucking pee-pee pervert. Speaking of yards, you can't find your dick and you pee-pee. It's just, I don't understand
He's so mad.
the logic of this roast.
He's just fucking furious. Logic is out the window. He's
irrationally
gonna start crying.
furious. Yeah.
He's so mad he's gonna start crying and he's gonna have to run away.
200 yards, more like you can't find your dick. You pee-pee.
More like your dick is 200 yards. Fuck! Shut up! So Chris's story. Chris was out hunting at dusk one time, and he saw
had to see all this,
doe.
by the way. Chris is watching that interaction happen.
He doesn't know what to do with it. So he just starts telling his story like he's going to stop mom and dad from fighting. He saw a doe come out real skittish like, and then a fucking Bigfoot flew out of the woods, and I think we've established must have top rope elbow dropped a deer straight into oblivion, like straight into hell. And he was like, holy shit, that was rad.
Just as the Shawnee described.
So they go out to measure a branch near where he says he saw it, and they determine his height is 8 feet tall. And Huckleberry says, there's several things got me worried about this dusk man. The size, the speed, the weight. This thing brushes against you. It's going to roll you like a pumpkin. It's a cute one.
It is cute. He's not wrong.
It's cute.
Huckleberry's top speed is 1 mile an hour, and Jeff would have to fall down the stairs to go that fast. I generally do not think Buck could turn around fast enough to see the Dustman kill him if it started charging from less than a mile away. Like, the amount of danger these men are in is immeasurable.
So Chris says his whole family is unnerved by this thing, which is a great understatement. Because again, if you were out deer hunting and you've got a deer in your sights, and then this blur comes flying into your field of view and elbow drops this thing, it snaps its neck like a twig. Yeah, you would be
surely leaving a crater behind.
Absolutely.
You would be unnerved. Like, you would not even be as calm as this guy is in the moment, to the point when these hillbillies come out there and start making jokes about how they're so incompetent that they pee on their own shoes. You'd be like, no, I'm sorry. I need you to find me actual experts, because this thing moved at supersonic speeds. Even you're measuring its height. I'm telling you right now, its height is irrelevant. It can go 1,000 miles an hour.
It can drop. It's dropping elbow drops like they're rods from God.
Huckleberry's doing an interview to camera saying, well, if this thing runs into you, it's going to roll you like a pumpkin. And I wish this witness would just elbow into the shot and say, okay, you apparently didn't hear what I said.
This is a shack and a half. Shooting through the woods at the speed of an F1 car. It is the seismic wake of destruction it left. Look out there. Do you see that line of trees that are torn down? It would turn you into a fine red mist.
A pumpkin, sir? Roll you like a pumpkin. That's adorable. That's adorable for what this is going to do to you. They're going to do their night investigation here. They come right back to Chris's Park gazebo, and they come up with this amazing idea that is going to change everything. They don't have to walk. They agree they can just use the forest golf cart like an off-road rascal scooter, and they just pile around in there, and they scoot and hoot. They scoot and hoot for Bigfoot. It's wonderful.
And yeah, the idea is that they will be safer in there, because there's this exchange where Trapper says, if this thing can run down a deer, it can run us down. And then Huckleberry says, oh, I can guarantee you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what it can't do is catch a golf cart? No, dude. You're fucking
Which is
dead.
going very slowly, by the way.
Also, they leave Huckleberry out front. Huckleberry has to walk anyway, I guess because he's Bigfoot's Secret Service out here to just take one for the team and die.
Like he's supposed to jog along like it's the president in a parade.
Yes, he's supposed to just...
But this means that the golf cart is moving at Huckleberry walking speed, so...
So what is the point of any of this? They do find some trampled grass and determine that he's like camping out here, and they hear a noise, and they all sadly agree, we gotta go in the woods. We gotta walk. They gotta walk.
No, Trapper gets a brilliant idea to move 20 steps and then stop. He calls it an old tactic. Yes. I think that's just how these men have to travel under any circumstances.
They call it intermittent hiking. It's the best way to work out.
Well, okay, to back up just a moment, they see the bedding area, just a flattened bunch of grass, and they see that on thermal, it's still warm, which means the thing is right there. Again, we've established this thing goes 600 miles an hour, so it can now close the distance from wherever it is within a tenth of a second. And then Trapper leans down to the bedding area and smells it and says, yeah, that's the dust man.
I've smelled him before.
When did he smell? If he was close enough to smell the dust man at some point previously in his life, I feel like he should have mentioned that in the truck briefing.
If you've noticed, the last few episodes, he has been slowly setting up that he has a superhuman sense of smell.
Mm-hmm. And he can also measure distances now.
He's bringing up the nose thing. He's constantly like, I know because I have the smell of it. And so he's a bloodhound now, is part of his character.
We brought this up last season, though. There was nothing stopping them prior to the very first episode from coming up with little superpowers for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Where they
He's
can
getting
say,
that note.
Yeah, because why not? Why not? That's totally fine in this universe. Say, hey, this is Trapper. He's known all around as having a superhuman sense of smell. And then do that on every episode. Like smell the wind and say, yeah, there's deer. Deer have been mating 13 miles that direction downwind. And then each of them can have a little thing like that because we're not going to know. Now, obviously, the superpower is not going to be they can produce lightning from their fingertips. But something that explains why they are doing this and not just some other random group of people. Like, what makes them special?
Buck could have, like, super breath power like the guy from Big Trouble in Little China.
Sure.
He explodes if he gets upset.
I mean, I'd buy it.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to them slowly waddling at their exact normal speed for 10 feet and then taking a break. They do it once, and then they come across a severed deer head on a pike, which fucking rules. Like, that's a great thing to come... Like, this is the Bigfoot devil. Like, this guy can fucking elbow drop from space and move a million miles an hour, and he leaves heads on spikes.
Explicitly a reaction to the last episode, where they clearly got a note after they turned the episode in, like, hey, this thing is like an adorable little apple gremlin. You need to up the danger. And so, yeah, it's great. They find a freaking severed head on a pike. Like, yes, you found the show. Thank you.
What if instead of a severed head, it was an apple? Golden, delicious apple.
Dun.
No, it fucking rules. That's great. Except for Trapper uses his super smell to say, this deer has been dead for a month. And then he says the craziest possible conclusion. He says, I believe that means this Bigfoot is watching us. For a month?
For a month.
Like at your house? You just got here. What could that possibly, like in the shower? What does that mean?
Trapper then kisses the severed deer head, causing Buck to almost vomit. And Trapper kind of acts like he might be a little inebriated on this hunt. Not accusing him of anything. I know we saw
some weird energy.
Yeah, I mean, he does, and I'm not, this is going to scale like a joke. What he actually does next is he throws the deer head into the woods and tells Bigfoot to shove it up his ass. So, like... Yeah, that's a whiskey
Bigfoot,
drunk. I've done that.
Bigfoot will get that message.
Just shove it up your ass. Then they all agree to run away because this scared them, and they promise to come back with more force this time. They do already have their guns, I should point out. So you will not be back with more force than this. You'll be back with Wild Bill, who's gonna bring a fork or some shit. And Willie has had his gun stolen by several cryptids. I'll say that again. He has had his gun stolen by more than one cryptid. So, like, this right here is the team. This is the team that's going to take him down if you've got it. And apparently, you don't got it.
Well, exactly after he says, we'll be back with force, it then cuts to Wild Bill in his truck, who is coughing horribly and says he's sick to the point that he can barely move.
Right. That's what we're coming back with. Bill's got fucking COVID. Like, all right, I know that timeline doesn't match up, but if anyone's patient zero, it's Wild Bill. He also said specifically, I'm going to give whatever this disease is to Bigfoot. That's a war crime.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Well, also, just outside of the fiction of the show, he's talking about how he's extremely sick, but, he can't call in because this is obviously so important. But I'm sorry, among this group of men... Yeah, unleashing one cold virus could wipe out 3 of them. That would be a war. That would be a war of the worlds type situation. You should stay home. No, you do not. Several of these guys should not be getting sick.
Let's see. Buck has called in several times for just work. He has to work a different job. He can't get off at the gas station or whatever. One time, Huckleberry took a fuck break.
Yeah,
Remember that? And he met his wife. It was beautiful, but he took a fuck break.
It was the Xenomorph episode. He missed the initial hunt where they encountered it because he was porking down a babe.
And they all understood. I think you can take a sick day, man. Jesus. And I don't think he's sick. Anyway, they do a bit here where they like shove lemons up his nose and they assault him with a thermometer, which I don't know that you do if you're sick. One thing they do determine is he does not have a temperature. So like, he was just up late smoking meth and falling out of trees, and that's a young man's game.
Yeah,
He's like, I gotta show up. I can't call in.
For some reason, like I don't know if they bought a bunch of medical stuff or but like Willie has a big box for us. This is big. They just try riffing with medical stuff, and so Trapper finds like a syringe and then turns to Bill and says, "Drop your drawers and bend over and grab your ankles," which is the thing the doctor says to you when he's giving you an injection. That's why he said that.
Yeah, when you have a cold, when you go to the doctor for a cold.
You gotta put some dollars in the fuck jar. Yeah. Already, we're not off to a great start. Okay, so we're at the trap shack, and Trapper comes up and he tells Willie, I don't want to see another one of these traps out here in the woods. And it comes across like he'll never let the camera know, but last episode's trap was a box with novelty exercise equipment. And this is like a performance review. And Willie goes, so I have to build an invisible trap? And then almost immediately in the same breath, he goes, the trap I got in mind's a quicksand pit trap. It's just a hole. It's a hole. That
specifically, this is they accidentally built a quote-unquote quicksand pit trap. So to recap, in episode 2 of this entire series, the first time they ran into the grass man, they decided they would catch the 8-foot tall grass man by digging a 6-foot deep pit. And they were just going to cover it with a tarp. But it was pouring down rain while they were digging, and they dug it right next to a river. And they came back the next day and were shocked to find that it was entirely full of water. And so, to try to save face, they threw a tarp on top of it and said, well, this is our trap. And then, obviously, the Trapper, being the extremely supportive, probably too supportive boss that he is, said, this is even better. It's never going to escape this. So in order to redeem himself, he pretends like he did that on purpose. And this time, it's like, yeah, we're going to do the classic quicksand trap where you dig a hole, you fill it with water, and you throw a tarp on top of it. And then he pulls out an adorable little model to show that it's got little dirt in it and a little hole. And he mixes like some sand and some water and it puts a little thing on top of it. Like, see? And then he walks on it with his fingers to demonstrate that and see if you put a tarp on top of mud, you'll fall in.
I did like when he walked across it with his little fingers, like a children's show.
Adorable.
Just like, this is what happens to Bigfoot. He dies. He dies in this. I think Willie is quiet quitting. I think.
And I know what the listeners are saying, that his little demonstration doesn't do the thing that a demonstration should do, which is prove that it can't escape the quicksand. Like, you need to demonstrate that there's some kind of suction power. And also, is this trap intended to drown the creature? Because if you're just trying to incapacitate it, then are you going to call animal control and say, yeah, we got the dust man, it's thrashing around in a quicksand pit we made. Come bring a backhoe or something like that. You can dig it out of there. And
excuse me, a fucking what?
A what in a what? Did he say dusk man? No, it's a dust man. See, it comes out of dusk.
How did it get that name?
It never goes well. It's a guaranteed flaw when they ask anything from the other wild man on. If you ask somebody their name, the explanation fucking sucks. And I just like that continues to apply to Bigfoot. You're like, how'd you get your name? Oh, fuck. Oh,
yeah, because that's going to come up in a moment here, yeah.
Oh, speaking of, our second witness. For some reason, they showed footage of him before the crew meets him. Like, this is his life not with the meetup. And he's doing an idle animation out in the woods. He does a little animation and he repeats it. This is where he lives. Anyway, his name is Wormy. And he has been... This is the spot where he's been living for the last 60 years. Wormy is wearing a camo baseball cap, which is whatever. I think they lost the headgear lady when they lost the CGI guy. The important thing is that Buck asks him, how'd you get your name, Wormy?
This is...
Wormy explains, well... First, people just say I kind of worm my way around the woods like a little worm, and they don't like it. So he goes, and I like to fish.
This is my favorite bit in the show. And I don't think I've ever...
That's what I'm saying. It has to be a bit, right? They know. Yeah. They know this.
Because they give the witness their names. These are people they have cast, which I previously have believed that they're friends of theirs, but they could be local theater actors. Some of them act the hell out of their parts, so they may be straight up actors. But they give them their names, but do not give them the reason for the names, and then put them on the spot with the improv. Like, well, how'd you get that name? And the last one was great because that was Cornbread, the trucker, and he was like, "Well, it's because I'm from Cornwallis, West Virginia." They're like, well, how'd that? They can't be like, oh, and also I eat a lot of cornbread. Yes. It's like, no, you need to take that again. And oh, by the way, I want you to know we're leaving this all in the show.
Wormy repeats that almost verbatim. He starts doing I like to worm my way around the little woods, and he does a little worm motion, and then he gives up and just goes, I like to fish.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Anyway, Wormy was out here one morning, which, that establishes right away Bigfoot is out in the morning. He heard two big feet communicating. He saw a deer head out in one's direction, and then he said, I don't know what happened, but I heard that deer bleating something awful. And now we do know what happened. Flying Macho Man elbow drop from space.
Yeah.
Just snapped it in half. But what's important is Wormy has a recording of Duskman's speech. They're talking to each other. And it's just angry belling. It's canned roar number 3 played back and forth. I mean, it would have been great if it was like French, but it's not.
I thought it was just a guy going, caw! Like, I don't even know if they got it off a sound effect machine. I think this might have been Wild Bill saying, what if a monster was a crow? Caw! They're like, oh,
that was Wild Bill last night, smoking too much meth and falling out of trees, thinking he was a crow. That's why he's like this.
I know listeners are worried about Wild Bill, but when we left the last scene, he did say that he was feeling the old medication kicking in, which might mean nothing. He probably says that several times a day. So.
They are starting to dribble that into the show. Wild Bill saying things
the
like
old medication. Whoops. Yeah. Wink.
I'm on methamphetamines. Oh, darn it.
They will sometimes will imply, like they will have a witness say, well, I heard 3 or 4 of them, or I heard multiple ones, and a lot of times they don't necessarily follow up on it, where here the guy's like, well, I heard them calling back and forth, kind of like they were cooperating, almost implying there's an intelligence there. I'm telling you, they are going to follow up with this. So, let's give them credit, because sometimes when they do like a little Chekhov's gun thing that it doesn't pay off. Yeah, this is going to pay off in the stupidest way you can possibly imagine.
It fucking rules. It's so good. I can't wait to get to it. I think this might be, I say it a lot. I think this might be my favorite episode once we get to it. Anyway, back to the trap shack. Wild Bill and Willie found a very neat trail in the woods, the kind that looks like mostly people hike it, probably from that gazebo, that public works gazebo. So they went ahead and dug a concealed quicksand pit trap in the middle of it.
And it's
fucking with an excavator.
It's deep. This is not like last time. Like Willie heard people making fun of the fact that the trap last time would have only been waist deep on the creature they were trying to trap. He's like, no, this is a straight up. We're using a backhoe and we are doing this is deep enough to kill any child that falls into it.
Yeah, and since it's on the trail, they're gonna. Mark my words. No, they get an excavator out here. They get a full-on excavator out here to dig this, and it's great. I think he knows it's a performance review. I think he took those words very seriously from Trapper, who was like, I don't want to see another one of these fucking traps. It's like, okay.
I don't want to see another box.
This is both never going to work on a Bigfoot, but will absolutely kill a child.
Oh, yes. I don't know. I guess that wasn't clear. It's not deep enough for a Bigfoot. It's deep. It's big. It'll kill a man. And we'll prove it. So before we go, I just want to say I really like the scene where they're goofing with the excavator. Like Wild Bill grabs the bucket and Willie just starts swinging him around. I don't have a joke. I just think it's really cute that they do the same thing I would do. Like 100% would do the same thing. So back to our day investigation, which remember has replaced the third witness segment. And we don't know why yet. They are slowly coming up with reasons for this bit to exist. So they're out searching for, I'm going to be real here, probably more Bigfoot dream catchers. It's the only lever they have to pull. They hear a noise and they follow it into the woods, and they do find some Bigfoot arts and crafts. They find 4 small trees bent over and pinned under a log.
That's probably a deer head trebuchet. I really thought about it. I think that's what the Bigfoot was trying to build.
Oh shit, that would be maybe that's to help him launch the elbows. You get 4 of them lined up on a team effort, and they can just take out a small city, dropping from orbit. I don't know. They don't really have a theory. They're just like, that's fucking crazy. Obviously, that's Bigfoot. So they keep looking, and they find a cave system, which they immediately determine is the Duskman's house. But there's a problem. They've been out here so long, it is actually dusk now, which you will recognize is the time of men. And so they gotta get out of here. But what's this? What's this they found? They found a fire. And they know instantly it's a Bigfoot cookout. I'm not kidding. That's what's in the show. It's a Bigfoot cookout. Bigfoot made the fire.
There's no human signs. If humans were around, there'd be tennis shoes, basketball courts, tanning salons. But there's not. It's just a cave with a fire. The only thing this could be is a Bigfoot who has learned how to use fire.
Now, Sean is almost directly quoting Trapper there. Like, Trapper says that I know human sign. I often hunt men, and there is no human sign here. Except for, of course, Wormy, who just told us he was here, and that's why we're here. But besides that,
from this, they deduce, like, if he's building fires, he's using tools. Like, this has to be the Bigfoot has fire, has mastered fire, is a tool user. And Trapper says, in my 67 years, I never seen anything like I seen when I looked down that hole.
It is crazy that he didn't let the cameraman get a shot of that. That he looked in that hole, saw that unspeakable thing, and then they all left.
Well, they had to, because it was dark and it was becoming too dangerous. Because as Jeff points out, they did not bring any kind of lights at all because they were unfamiliar with the concept of night when they left.
And they can't just make a fire because they're not Duskmen.
Right.
He's more advanced than they are. I like that they treat it like this is a huge threat. Like, because he has made a fire, he is, of course, capable of flaming weaponry. Like, he's just going to be out there with a fucking flamethrower burning the forest down around them. It's great. It's just, this is such an escalation in such a weird direction, and I love it. So this is obviously a huge deal. Like, this is almost human. Like, this is early humans. So obviously we're still out to kill it. This changes nothing. We're going to kill it.
The ethics of killing a creature that has near human level intelligence. No, that is not going to come up in this episode.
Right. Somewhere around that time, if I was out hunting rabbit and I saw the rabbit like build a working television, I'd be like, fuck, man, I got to reconsider some things. But they're like, nah. Back over at the Crackhead Trap Shack, Wild Bill and Willie are filling up the pit. And Wild Bill, trying to add some flavor, says, you know what this is here? This is a hillbilly bubblegum, brother. And I know he's trying to liven it up, but I feel like even hillbillies would take offense to that. Like, that feels like slur level. You eat fucking mud for bubblegum, hillbillies.
You eat peat moss. Idiot.
Yeah.
And so how did they Because they needed several hundred gallons of water to fill that. How'd they get the water out there, do you think?
Probably hooked a hose
just waited
up
for it to rain.
to that building we were just at.
I mean, it is a public works park. I'm sure that there's just a hose underneath that quote-unquote deer stand for the kids to slip and slide, when they're bored. So the team arrives to inspect the trap. It just kind of looks like a bunch of mud in a hole, and it is a bunch of mud in a hole. But fuck it, they love it. Handshakes all around. Trapper decides, I need someone to test it, so they draw sticks, and of course, Buck gets the short one. So, yep, we're throwing the 300-pound man into the quicksand, everybody.
He gets a running start, which I thought was adorable. So he comes barreling in there at 0.7 miles an hour, and he might die. Like, when he jumped in, it's only about 5 feet deep, so his head's above the water, but, like, he is having a lot of trouble getting out. It takes every single member pulling on as hard as they can to get him out.
If only there's some way to have foreseen you might have difficulty dragging the 300-pound man out of the quicksand trap.
If only.
Well, on one hand, that's true. It looks legitimately like this could have gone horribly, and they would have had an extremely difficult time explaining to Buck's family what happened. But on the other hand, they did get him out. So if you had a hypothetical creature that was literally 2.5 feet taller than Buck and had 10 times his strength and was not overweight, but rather was made of muscle to the point that it can move at supersonic speed, makes me wonder if maybe it would be able to easily get out of that with basically not even slowing it down.
3 times the intelligence of Buck, and we've established that there are others that it communicates with and around. Maybe one would also think to help him out, like they did with Buck.
Yeah, and would take I'm not even sure would need the assistance, but they've established by the last witness that it can call out to another one that can come and just grab it and lift it out. So interesting to see how they will adjust the trap based on what they know.
When they do cover it up, I mean, obviously this trap is terrible, but when they cover it up, it kind of comes together. Like, it really is hidden. Like, a child will die in this. It is a full Danger Island trap. It's like Tarzan could fall in that, and then it could cut to commercial, and you'd be like, ooh, how's Tarzan going to get out of that pit trap?
Yeah, like...
I'm saying it's a well-presented, terrible trap, which is better than usual.
In an episode of Lassie, you could cut to commercial, and you would instantly know, oh, he's not getting out of that.
Yeah, Lassie's
somebody's going to have to help that child. Anyway, we end that segment. We get to the night hunt, and Trapper reiterates once again, this fucking super speed elbow dropping Bigfoot is the master of fire, and there are many of them. They've gone so overboard with the threat level on this one. This is a fucking pyromancer. Just everybody prepare to run from the Bigfoot fireball. Buck, are you ready to run from the Bigfoot fireball? Oh wait, no, we saw you run into that trap. No, you're not. You're not going to escape that.
Okay, this plan is fucking crazy because they present it like it's going to be another pincer trap, but it's very, very much not. This specifically will not work as a pincer trap because they send one team back to where the deer head was, theoretically to pincer a Bigfoot. But they know where Bigfoot is. It's in the cave, so they have the other team rappel down from the high ground directly into the cave, like commando style, but not with the plan to, like, force them out of the cave. Like, hey, go, Bigfoot, squeeze between us, and then go towards our other team 14 miles that way. Like, I don't understand the plan at all.
Yeah, I don't think we can even make the joke of like, oh, it's another pincer movement, because it's somebody home invades Bigfoot while the other person starts running at them from a distance to see who can get killed first, I guess.
I guess.
I just want to point out that while there's a feat here worth acknowledging, and that's that while they're rappelling down into the cave, Willie finds a way to point his shotgun, or Wild Bill finds a way to point his shotgun right at Willie's head. It's such an incredible feat in gun mismanagement to do that while rappelling. Like,
another incredible feat is somehow the cameraman was already down below them filming them. Just amazing.
I was going to point that out, that this incredibly difficult terrain that has to be rappelled down. There's Zach, the cameraman, is already there filming them coming down. Zach, who presumably is totally unprotected with no weaponry or whatever.
Just muttering under his breath, "You're never going to see a fucking Bigfoot. They're never going to believe you."
I want to make it clear that they've been talking about the pit trap, and they're sure that the pit trap will hold Bigfoot because it held Buck. And Buck's only about 75 pounds less than him. That's their words, not mine. And it's very cruel, but it's also kind of meaningless from this source because nobody is worse at knowing what something weighs than these men. So I don't think Buck should get his feelings too hurt by that.
In making that fat joke about Buck, Buck jokingly pumps his shotgun like he's going to kill Trapper for saying that.
It's a pretty good response. Which is even funnier because then when they go lock and load, he does it. He pumps it again.
Yeah,
so he's just like dumping shells into the woods.
Just
should
eject
right
out.
An unspent shell onto the.
If they called that back to like later on, he's got a Bigfoot in his sights and he pulls the trigger and nothing happens and just oh no. For a punchline? For that punchline?
Maybe this isn't worth pointing out, but Trapper says that his whole motivation for this final night hunt is that he's enraged by the head on a pike that signaled that it's the Dustman's territory. But he's like, we're going to remind him that this is our territory. But they're in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, this is
that's not their territory. What all are you claiming as your personal territory, Trapper?
You also said there was no human sign here for 3 years. Like, you could smell humans for 3 years through time. So, no, it's not even general human territory.
It's absolutely the Dustman's territory.
So now they're in Bigfoot's house, and Buck is up top, just kind of hanging out, and he sees a torch. That's right, Bigfoot's got a torch, and he's coming towards them. It's very funny. He's headed right towards William Wild Bill. He knows, he says, there's no way that could be a human because it's impossible to move through this thick brush that we all just moved through to get here without issue.
Oh, that's so funny.
I'll also keep that in mind because we will pay that off even more. So Bigfoot has arrived at the entrance of his house and he found their ropes, so he knows they're in there, and he starts shaking the ropes. And so he knows, Bigfoot knows what a rappelling rope is and who uses it. Like, this is not the first time somebody's invaded his home.
He's carrying a torch. He found pitch or made pitch and then covered a stick with it and then lit it with its whatever flint or whatever method of using tools to make fire. You cannot kill this thing.
Also, please do remember back to the cave creature episode when they did make torches and forgot to add pitch and they went out immediately. So this is smarter than them.
Smarter than them.
It's successfully made. I'm surprised that they don't find out that the Dustman has made a better monster hunting TV show than they've made. I get
certainly got a better trap.
Traps things every week.
Oh my god. Hold on. He did make a trap. There are 4 trees bent over under a log, and there are exactly 4 of them that came out to this investigation. He made a trap for him. He's over there trying to drive him in. He's got his own pincer movement going on.
Also, I realize that technically this would have been impossible, but when he sees the torch coming his way, that doesn't happen off camera. The camera does show it's just a crew member holding a torch, but they carefully frame the shot so they don't pan down a little bit to see what's holding the torch. That I do wish there had been some way they could have somehow attached the torch to like a dirt bike or something, so it was coming at them like 50 miles an hour, like Dustman running speed.
Just catapult it through the trees like fucking he's dropping from the sky. It's a meteor. It looks so fucking rad, you guys. No, what he does next is even crazier. He sees the rappelling ropes, right? He knows he's got intruders, and he's like, okay, I got this. He snuffs his torch out, Splinter Cell style. It's a stealth Bigfoot mission. It fucking rules. This is a Bigfoot ninja.
Yeah. Now, the problem is they have been doing this pincer movement, and then one side of the pincer has encountered the Dustman, so it's not... I was like, well, what are they going to do now? Because half the team is off, 3 miles the other direction?
Well, they're going to charge to the rescue. So they do. They pile into their forest golf cart, and they drive straight over... through the impossible brush no human could traverse. We do show that. It's a field. We show them driving through an open field. No way a human could cross that. Bigfoot has Willie and Wild Bill cornered in his own house, and he starts throwing trees down at them, that old chestnut. But it's only Buck up there. So Buck nobly says, oh no, and calls Trapper to help him, to tell him that Bigfoot is killing his friends. Yeah. He does have a gun. He still has his gun. I guess it's unloaded. after that punchline. But he doesn't even think to try. He's just like, gotta call Trapper in. Gotta wait for backup.
You're not going to believe me if you haven't seen the show, but now the creature's cry has gone from caw to dare.
It's Zach. Zach is just, he's pissed off you made him go down that hole. Like, he had to free climb that shit. There weren't enough ropes for Zach. He's not happy now. Anyway, so the team, they meet back up with Buck. Now they're all together and they're working their way down there for backup.
Like no human can do.
Like no human could do, of course. Willie and Wild Bill are going on the offensive, closing in on the Duskman, but he's gone like that. Only wait. He's back and he's roaring at them. Only he's gone again. It happens exactly like that. They're just like, what? He's gone. What? He's here. What? He's gone.
They do struggle a little bit figuring out how to improvise what exactly should happen here, because again, the way they've built up this creature and what it can do and then what happens here kind of doesn't match, because why would it run away from these guys?
Right.
Yeah, they were the least.
Well, what they decide, I think Huckleberry decides that this is a honeypot to lure them away. Like,
yes.
Don't follow the Bigfoot. He's trying to lure us away from these caves. He doesn't want us to find something in these caves.
He's got Bigfoot treasure. I can't believe that's not the first time that's happened on that show. There is precedent for Bigfoot having a hidden treasure that they must find, and they know it, so they're like, classic Bigfoot treasure tactics trying to lure us away.
To be fair, they do anything dog or above they think is trying to trick them. If a hellhound is doing something like, we're not going to fall for the hellhound's tricks.
Before we get into what's about to happen here, because that's... nothing else is going to matter once we explain what happens here. Do you think, you guys, they're going to abandon the trap making thing at some point in the show? Because they are going to actually have Willie say to camera, well, this thing's gone over the ridge. It's my trap's 4 miles that direction. It's not going to, this is now it's been a while since they've done anything. I think the last time they really did something with the trap was when they had the Chupacabra and the other Bigfoot came and freed it, or the Hellhound, whatever the hell it was, and freed it from the trap. And this is multiple episodes in a row when they've built the trap, gone through the trouble, built the scale model, did all the segments, and then it does not factor into the finale whatsoever. They don't go back to it. They don't show it again. They don't use it. It's just a total waste of show. Like, it doesn't come to anything. Is there some point where they're going to say, hey, let's use that screen time? Like, I realize these two guys are the trap builders, but they clearly have run out of, like, legitimately, they don't know what to do with the traps creatively. So do you think they may drop that at some point?
Yeah, I do. I think they are. I've noticed that too. And that, I think that's maybe why Willie's been quiet quitting, is because he's realizing like they're making him obsolete. But he pivots. He does what anybody smart would do when they realize that their job is sort of being phased out, and he finds a new thing to do. So Willie now is the hole guy. Willie is the official hole guy. He's Tunnel Rat. He's the Mountain Monsters Tunnel Rat. And they send him in first to go check out, to go inspect Bigfoot's hole. I'm not putting anything in the jar for that. That's what's happening.
That's what happens.
And
then they tenderly kissed for 40 minutes. I will put $1 for that.
So they all descend together into Bigfoot's treasure hole. Still not putting $1 in. And finally Willie can call the rest of the team in. And they say, Willie has found something incredible, and it is an easier hike into the cave for the rest of the team. Wait, no, he's also found a treasure, but first of all, he had to find a way for them to all get down there that's not climbing.
Willie found an easier way to get into his hole, is what he said. And I will put $1 in for that.
Yeah, you should. What Willie has found is, first in order, a Bigfoot kitchen. I'm not kidding. They found a Bigfoot hot plate. They found his fire and cooking stone. Then he finds a lovely Bigfoot bed and his compost heap for his leavings. And Trapper even reiterates, there's no way this can be a human hobo camp because I know human smell. The fucking creepiest thing you could have said,
argue with
Trapper.
that. He has smelled hobos.
The fact that and as all of these guys are very much aware, the fact that the Dustman cooks its meat is earth-shattering, because no animal does that other than humans, and that was actually a key part of human evolution, that we switched to soft foods that actually developed the shape of our jaw, and that allowed for larger brains, like our ability to cook meat, which is, we cook meat because otherwise it takes much longer for meat to digest. You're basically partially digesting it before you eat it. Like, this is something that humans, it took us a long time to discover. The fact that this thing cooks its meat before it eats it is everything. That means it's at a totally different stage of evolution than we knew was possible. This is, as a discovery, that alone would be the equivalent of finding out that there's life on Mars. Like, there would be thousands of papers written about this discovery.
I mean, there's no bar that's going to make them not want to kill this. Like, it was a vital point in human evolution when we learned to do a Macho Man elbow drop from the top rope. And it changed everything for us, and they didn't even blink at that. They're like, still, yeah, I know he can Macho Man elbow drop. I'm taking him out.
Yeah, he will replace humans if we do not kill him now. Their
right,
Macho Man elbow drops will replace us within 3 generations.
So we're going to really push that theory. So Willie turns very slowly to pivot up and look at the ceiling, and pinned in his flashlight, he's found a Bigfoot map. I'm not fucking with you. Bigfoot made a fucking map of all the rivers so he wouldn't get lost when he's out Bigfoot kayaking. It's a Bigfoot map.
It's neat lines. It has found a writing implement. Mm-hmm. It is capable of the kind of abstract thought where it can see a drawing and translate that to something in the real world, and the concept of translating scale to a visual representation. And also just the fact when they found its bed, they found blankets. It's using deer hide as blankets. So it is tanning hides, because it's not just rotting skin. It has tanned these hides. So this thing legitimately has a measurable IQ. Mm-hmm. It is effectively a human being that just looks a little different.
Yeah, it's 1.4 Jeffs.
Now, it hasn't really mastered the map. It did write the map on a boulder far from the river, so it's not. It's like gonna get to the river and be like, "Fucking, was it a left? God damn it!"
Yeah.
But, it's trying. It's on the path. And Trapper rightfully says, Trapper appreciates this moment, if not any of the other incredible moments that have happened up until now. He looks at the map and says, this is one of the biggest finds in the history of Bigfoot. It's going to set the Bigfoot world on fire. Just like that Bigfoot is going to set us on fire when it finds us in his house.
I love the fact that he thinks this, when he sees this discovery, it's like, man, the 200 other weirdos who run Bigfoot websites are going to go crazy for this. It's like, no, this changes everything we know about evolution and biology. Yes. The science world is going to be set on fire by this. This rewrites everything.
Like, let's go with Trapper's point of view, right? Let's assume it's only the Bigfoot world that's turned on its head by this. That's still a big deal, because there's a lot of people that believe in Bigfoot, and they believe it hard. They will go over every photo, every film. They'll analyze it for clues. They'll look at frame by frame at every single movie that comes out. They are exhaustive. So what we know is this site that they have found is the new mecca for Bigfoot enthusiasts. Like, this has to be famous across the entire Bigfoot scene. I didn't look it up because I'm so certain that did happen. But surely this is it's been years since this came out. Like, surely they have gone over that with a fine-tooth comb. Like, if you want to look it up for me, I'm sure we'll find countless analyses of this historical site online, if only with the Bigfoot community. Again, I did not check, but I am positive that this must be of note somehow.
I found that the real world leaking in, like the real world of people actually investigating cryptids like they're real. When that leaks into the show, it kind of tramples over everything they've built, because he's talking about like it's a greatest find of all time, but that would imply all the actual footage they captured of Bigfoot isn't. Like when they got a shot of his face through the window, or when one of them put Buck in the hospital, or all the poop they've collected. Oh, here they find like the 25th collection of bleached deer bones in a Bigfoot nest, and they're like, this'll light up the Bigfoot community. like it's a historical discovery, but what the fuck was Hogzilla then? Or when they had 2 chupacabras locked in the cage that got broken out by Bigfoot. This is not bigger than that. No way. This is like guys like running out of Jurassic Park and saying, oh my God, guys, look, we found a trilobite fossil out here. This will change everything. It's like, no, there's a Tyrannosaurus trying to eat you.
I do love the idea of explaining to, like writing up a paper and explaining to some animal expert somewhere that, hey, we've got evidence that the Bigfoot uses the chupacabra as a hunting dog. And so that's a type of cooperation we had never discussed. Had you looked into that? Like, okay, back up. There are several things we need to discuss before we get to that specific thing.
There's no time. I've got to go find Bigfoot's boat. He has a fucking what? Anyway, so clearly this is like the big find that means we're not even going to look for those big feet anymore, despite the fact that this is his house.
Yes.
It's historic. I'll at least give them that. Like, this is a bigger deal than anything else.
Yeah. He's currently hunting them. He put out his torch to hunt them. He's right next to you, somewhere in the shadows. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're all down in the cave with their flashlights admiring this map. And they were being Splinter Cell stalked by this thing. This is probably my favorite bit in the show is when the creature just walks over the nearest hill and they declare it to be no longer in their universe.
Gone.
It's like, it only took it 1 second to jump over that hill. It can jump back in that same amount of time. Like, this thing is not more than 2 seconds away from your spotlight now, but they're not on guard at all. They're just rummaging around its stuff, ruining this highly territorial creature that, by the way, put a severed head on a stick to warn them away from its territory. They're now in its house, rolling around on its bed, knocking its crap over, shining flashlights at its map, looking at its private little art that it didn't want anyone to see. It's like, yeah, this thing is going to come in. You're trapped in there. You would have no chance.
I just want to point out that also this Bigfoot is the master of fire, and it would be a perfect shot of just somebody's looking up through that hole and they see a Bigfoot shadow with a torch, and then it just gently tosses the torch down there. And just everything erupts.
It knows how to make pitch. It can throw a little bowl full of it in there and splatter it on those guys and then throw its torch in, and now they're all on fire. It's a big grease
just
fire.
Burn them out. But the bigger discovery, of course, by far, is the Bigfoot River maps. We're going full Thunder in Paradise with it. Season 3, Jeff the Talking Speedboat, everybody. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's the rivers. It's the goddamn rivers. It's the damn river. That's what the trapper said when he saw the map.
I love that he invented this like you saw him throw that out, and then you saw him go, "Ooh, wait, no, I really like that. That's my new thing." Like, you saw that moment take hold in his head, and it was a wonderful moment. That's it for this episode. Let's get our favorite quotes. Jason.
I don't want to steal this one, but I'm sorry, since I got to go first. In the ad break, after they discovered that the thing can do writing and that it has human level intelligence, before they go into fine detail, they do an interview with Huckleberry screaming into the camera, "We're coming after the dust man, and we're going to dust his nuts."
You're gonna what? You want to, like, with actual dust? You're gonna, like, powder him? You're gonna powder his nuts. We're gonna powder his nuts. Sean, what's yours?
Okay, I did pick a different one. It was right after they learned that Bigfoot can use fire and tools and is trying to set a trap to lure them away from its lair. Huckleberry says, "We're coming after the dust man, and we're gonna dust his nuts."
I should probably do the trifecta, but I'm not going to, because there's a scene where they all realize this is the Dustman's house, and they look at it, and Trapper says, "I'm gonna slip Willie down in there so he can find out what's going on." And then Willie says, "I'm gonna ease down in there, but if you hear me squalling," and then Trapper says, "we'll come."
Because you have to be a Bigfoot teacher, you have to open Bigfoot last night. Whoa, whoa.